Hey YouTube, today we're going to be watching one of the 1v1's great replays. He's actually been playing 1v1 ranked a little bit more than he used to. And that is, of course, Laffy. No, not Laffy. This is FeerRL. This is FeerRL as verified by his Steam account ID on ball chasing. For whatever reason, he wasn't playing under his normal name in these games, which were just a month ago. We actually have one more game after this that was from the past few days. But you may have noticed, FeerRL's in the top 10. FeerRL has pushed his way back into the top 10 of 1v1. It only took him 30 games because I'm imagining he's not doing too much losing. And so we'll see how his most recent ranked games on ball chasing went. First against FeerRL. I'll admit, haven't heard of FeerRL before. Maybe FeerRL top ones player, but FeerRL is going to slowly work this ball off the backboard time and time again until eventually getting a first goal. FeerRL trust in the Mustang, and FeerRL going to go up 2-0 with this carrot on top of his Fennec. I don't know if that's something that you guys have seen him do before. I haven't actually seen a ton of replays from FeerRL because he hasn't really been in the one scene. But FeerRL, if you guys don't know, for some reason, maybe you're a little bit newer to the one scene than the average fan. FeerRL is the widely agreed upon GOAT, as he dominated the show match scene and tournament scene a little bit, but there really wasn't tons of tournaments around the time that FeerRL was dominating, but he was completely unbeatable in show matches for a very long time, earning himself, you know, there was the League of Rockets had some kind of tournament type stuff that he dominated there as well. No huge tournaments, and by the time the huge ones tournaments came out, like Salt Mine 1 and 2, and I think, you know, maybe some of the Manfield Night stuff, by that time FeerRL's dominance was a little bit less secured, and so the big tournament wins, other than Fusion, actually didn't go FeerRL's way, but Fusion is maybe one of the biggest, if not the biggest, 1v1 tournament that we've ever seen. So still has great tournament results, but the reason why he's for sure the GOAT is because of all of his show match experience. And now finally he is coming back to 1v1 potentially. I asked him actually to participate in Mount 1v1, an event that I had not long ago, where I had some of the new up-and-comers play against the mountain of 1v1, the Mount Rushmore, that is. And FeerRL said he wasn't quite interested yet. He didn't rule out ever playing ones again, but he did kindly respond and say maybe one day, you know, when RLCS picks up ones or ones becomes a little bit more competitive, he'll make it back. But hey, maybe the recent situation, that's a nice reset wave dash for FeerRL, but maybe the recent situation, you know, in his competitive world, getting moved to, I believe, a sub for Vitality, has brought him back out onto the ones field for who knows how long. What a pre-jump. FeerRL just absolutely pre-jumping this really high chip. Getting himself a fourth. Oh, and a demo to insult to injury. It looked like FeerRL was actually trying to demo FeerRL, and the speed that is gained from getting sent away by the explosion of the goal was more than enough to get the demo himself. Direct kickoff goal. FeerRL bringing it back within one. Can FeerRL dominate the way he used to in the past? A question that I know tons of people want to know the answer to. Imagine just seeing FeerRL move into the top 10 means you're going to have lots of people asking to get him on show matches again. Wow, that shot off the wall. Somehow strong enough to catch FeerRL out of position. Didn't think that was going to be a goal. It was enough to make it past. Wow, so many direct kickoffs. Interesting defense from FeerRL. He actually stopped that immediate goal by flipping right through the position that FeerRL was going to need to take. FeerRL was going to need a single jump and take a shot on net. And FeerRL, even though he necessarily wasn't even really going for a bump because he knew he'd get there first, he was just trying to box out and prevent FeerRL from ever getting that shot. And he did, and now in the open field, able to get a sixth. The second game that we're going to have FeerRL, we're going to watch at FeerRL, is going to be against Spider. So get excited for that. Spider, it's been a while since we've been watching some of his replays. We used to watch him a lot more as FeerRL. I wonder if this player's in the top 100. I have to go check. They look very solid mechanically, and by all means seem like they could hang in the top 100 from what we've seen. Nice flick, and oh, that's going to be a forfeit. Fairy Peak flicking it over the top of Cyrax. I'm hyping Cyrax up, and here they are quitting on this current game. Maybe they are losing a bunch of elo that way, but we'll go into game number 2 of Fairy Peak, playing ranked ones once again. Hey YouTube, you made it this far into the video, and did you know that 50% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed? If you could subscribe, it would mean a lot. I'm hoping to get maybe 30K. This just happened live! Boom Shakalaka just subbed. I'm not live. He just gave me a prime while I was recording this. How crazy is that? Anyways, that means you've got to give me a subscribe. Come on! This time, it's Fairy Peak versus Spider, and if you were wondering whether or not I just grabbed a random replay and told you guys it was Fairy Peak, now you can feel a little bit better about it, because here is Fairy Peak with his actual name, and you can see this Fennec he's rocking is basically the exact same one as he was rocking before, which makes me think that all the Fairy fans must know that he runs this carrot maybe pretty frequently, maybe all the time. I don't know. I didn't realize that. Little signature of Fairy Peak potentially. Spider, the Belgian 1v1 player, has dabbled in the top 100 in tournaments for a long time. It really broke out into the top echelon, but has always been close, has been near there, and is definitely a big ones grinder. So a good test for Fairy Peak, who's coming back to the game. You want to play against somebody who's got all the fundamentals of a good ones game down, that's definitely going to be Spider. Spider, his air triple bump, talking about fundamentals of a solid 1v1 game. Having a good air triple bump is definitely one of them. Spider's going to do it again, this time Fairy Peak learning from his mistake. Not going to let Spider come to the ground. Fairy Peak's air dribble, deciding to pull away from it. Maybe because Spider wasn't coming to challenge, didn't seem like he was too scared of that shot attempt. And Spider just finding an open net. Wow. Fairy Peak getting a little bit too relaxed at the midfield. Trying to pick up that midfield boost, I think it was. Spider sees his opening. Fairy Peak back into the corner. Not able to grab that corner boost on the first pass through. Ended up having to swing around it, but wow, look at that counterattack. Just great collection of the ball. Perfect dribbling. Means Spider cannot recover. And that is a very fast acceleration of the play on the ground. You don't see that from players very often. Fairy Peak going to have to take a trip to the corner boost, but still able to get back to the play before Spider can get the midfield and turn around. I'm surprised he went for an immediate power shot. Spider was certainly there, and he didn't get any heat off of it. And then in the open field, eventually, Spider gets the outplay. And it's because Fairy Peak used all that boost he got from the corner just to rush back to the midfield and then touch the ball away, whereas Spider had just reset on his 100. So he's likely to be able to win any sort of speed races that result from that situation. Spider, the reset off the backboard. He needs to recover now. Nice bump. Might have prevented Fairy Peak from scoring, but actually Fairy Peak just bumped him right back. The ball moving slow enough, though. Oh, my goodness. Back and forth between these two. The fact that Spider almost just dunked for an immediate goal. Ultimately, though, the play will move to the midfield after tons of scoring opportunities. Just barely slipped by. Fairy Peak keeping his momentum high. Nice steal from Spider. Able to not only steal the boost at the midfield, but not send himself all the way down to Fairy Peak's half. If he did so, Fairy Peak, even with no boost, would have been able to score in his net, but he was able to hold possession and steal the 100, which now has him in a great scoring chance. The problem is Fairy Peak is so clean on defense. That double jump save and then a smooth landing on the backboard means he instantly stops Spider's possession after one shot. But the problem is Spider stops Fairy's possession after one shot as well and adds a demo on top of it to secure his goal the other way. Fairy trying to pop this up for a wave dash, but way too strong. Spider's going to be there first. Spider using up all the little boost he did have on that play, though, so he's back to the corner. Fairy Peak on the bounce dribble, looking to flick to the top right, and I thought Spider was going to be there. But it is just great tactical play from Fairy Peak that is going to break down the defender off the kickoff. Spider fake kickoff. Couldn't ask for more here on the diagonal. got the possession that he wanted, but he's having a hard time making anything out of it. FeerRL is being a total pest. That missed wave dash could be a goal. Luckily for him, FeerRL didn't collect it as well as he could have. Spider grabbing the midfield. Another touch back into his corner. We saw him doing this before. This time, though, FeerRL is going to stick around and pressure it. The dribble. Oh, my goodness, what a save. Kept the last couple pixels out of the net and then took it all the way out into the corner. But FeerRL, oh, man, he's not going to score again. His flick lands a little bit short, and even though he tries to demo, Spider's not forced to jump because that flick left a bit to be desired. FeerRL, another dribble. Oh, got Spider to miss this time. The patience from FeerRL eventually pays off. Smart not to overreact to trying to score that high top right corner that he maybe could have gotten. Instead, wait to see what happens on Spider's touch. Or in this case, the lack of a touch. Ooh, nice flick by Spider, top right. Spider retakes the lead immediately with 51 seconds. Well, FeerRL mixed the kickoff up at all. Interesting, he took an approach on the right. Actually ended up on the left side of the ball, flipping to the right, which is just a bunch of snaking around. You don't see it too often, but these players do it on occasion to maybe counter what they're seeing on the other side of the field. Oh, Spider. Deep dive with nothing. And that, even that single jump will put him completely out of the play. So 31 seconds left to go. FeerRL has it tied up with Spider, the ranked grinder, the EU replay uploader. Spider, too strong of a first touch off the wall. Always hard to make the right dribble when the ball gets rolled off the wall as far away as it just did. Some players can do it. Spider certainly felt like he had the chance to. But in this case, it didn't work. So now he's having to play defense against FeerRL. Looking for a long shot with the last bit of boost that he does have. Never a bad idea to make sure you get a strong touch to finish your possession instead of just finding yourself caught with the ball in zero boost. A lot of the times it's hard to be able to hold on to that. Now, overtime, and Spider has a bounce dribble in front of FeerRL's net. He's going to take to the skies. Will he go air dribble bump? No, he's got FeerRL in the air. The bounce over the top. FeerRL. It's not a fast shot, but it is a very impressive save still nonetheless. You need to be so calm. Make sure you get the right touch. Not to just leave the ball available for Spider to finish off. So 30 seconds. Spider's still really in control of this play. These bumps might be enough to get FeerRL control, but no, even then, Spider in the corner. Now that was a mistake. Has to cover on the tree. Wait, FeerRL. Wow. Let's look at this recovery real quick, because that recovery was actually insane. Spider's wasn't bad. We were watching from Spider's perspective, and his recovery was fine. But FeerRL was so much better. He's shadowed here in the corner. Spider bumps him. Oh, look at that instant half flip right to the ball. Perfect. Absolutely beautiful recovery from FeerRL, and that will get him his 6th goal and his win in these 2 ranked games. FeerRL is back in the ranked game. Will we see him in the show match game? That is yet to be seen.